Have you ever wondered what it truly takes to live a happier and lighter life after reaching the age of 61? As we journey through life, certain burdens and habits that once seemed essential can start to weigh us down, preventing us from fully enjoying the freedom that comes with age. In today's video, we'll explore the 10 things you no longer need to carry as you embrace this vibrant stage of life. By watching until the end, you will discover practical ways to let go of unnecessary stress, cultivate meaningful relationships, and prioritize your happiness. Whether you're looking to simplify your daily routine, improve your mental well-being, or find deeper satisfaction in your everyday activities, this video offers valuable insights tailored just for you. Join us as we uncover the secrets to living more authentically and joyfully, ensuring that your years ahead are filled with peace, fulfillment, and the freedom to enjoy every moment to its fullest. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. 1. The need to always be busy. For most of our lives, we've been conditioned to believe that productivity equals worth, and that our value is tied to how much we can accomplish in a day. The need to always be busy has become second nature. Whether it's managing a career, raising a family, or simply keeping up with the endless stream of tasks that modern life demands. In our younger years, this may have made sense. We were juggling responsibilities, and being constantly in motion seemed essential to keep everything running smoothly. But as we grow older, particularly after the age of 61, does it still make sense to live this way? Does the constant hustle still bring the same fulfillment? Or has it become more of a habit that we've outgrown? It's almost as if we've developed a fear of slowing down. Silence and stillness feel foreign, even threatening, like something to be avoided at all costs. But I challenge you to reconsider this perspective. What if stillness and quiet moments aren't the enemy, but instead the very thing your soul has been craving? We've been so accustomed to the noise, to the constant go mentality, that we've forgotten how to simply be. After all, when did being busy become synonymous with living a meaningful life? If we're honest with ourselves, filling our days with endless tasks can sometimes be a way of avoiding the deeper questions. Questions about purpose, joy, and what truly matters as we enter this new phase of life. Let's face it, time is not infinite. After 61 years, each moment feels a little more precious, a little more fleeting. Time is no longer something we can afford to waste by staying busy for the sake of being busy. Every hour, every day, is an opportunity to live more fully, to embrace what truly matters, and to let go of the things that no longer serve us. Ask yourself, how much of what fills your schedule brings you genuine happiness, a sense of fulfillment, or deep contentment? And how much of it is just noise, tasks and obligations that leave you feeling drained rather than enriched? I'm not suggesting you abandon everything. On the contrary, keep the activities that bring you joy and purpose. Hold on to the passions that light up your soul and make you feel alive. But it's time to take a closer look at the things you do out of habit, the things that no longer spark joy or meaning. How many times have you said yes to something out of a sense of obligation, only to regret it later? How many hours have been lost to busy work that leaves you feeling more exhausted than fulfilled? It's all too easy to fall into the trap of thinking that the busier we are, the more valuable our time. But that couldn't be further from the truth. The reality is that after a certain point in life, staying busy doesn't mean we're living. It means we're avoiding. Avoid the quiet moments that ask us to reflect on where we've been, who we've become, and what we want from the rest of our lives. There's an undeniable beauty in slowing down, in savoring the stillness. It's in those moments of rest and reflection that we find clarity, insight, and even inspiration. When was the last time you allowed yourself to just sit and be with your thoughts without feeling the pull of a to-do list, the nagging voice that tells you you're not doing enough? If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment one below to let me know that you are still here with me. Picture this. Instead of rushing from one task to the next, what if you started your day slowly with a cup of coffee or tea in hand? Taking the time to truly enjoy the taste, warmth, and quiet of the morning? What if you spent your afternoon immersed in a book that transported you to another world, instead of feeling guilty about not doing something more productive? What if you ended your day with a heartfelt conversation with a loved one, truly listening, truly connecting, instead of feeling distracted by the next thing on your agenda? These are the moments that matter. These are the experiences that add depth and richness to life. After 61 years, it's time to permit yourself to let go of the constant pressure to be busy and embrace the beauty of living more deliberately. It's time to say no to the things that don't serve you, the commitments that feel more like burdens than blessings. It's time to prioritize your well-being, your joy, and your peace of mind. Because the truth is, you don't need to be busy to be happy. It's often in those moments of stillness that we find the happiness that's been eluding us all along. When we slow down, we allow ourselves the space to reflect on what truly matters. We open ourselves to new ideas, new inspirations, and a renewed sense of purpose. The creative energy that flows when we're not consumed by busyness can lead to some of the most profound realizations and the most meaningful changes in our lives. It's in the quiet moments that we reconnect with ourselves, our passions, and the people we love. And isn't that what life is really about? So, as you move forward, I encourage you to rethink your relationship with busyness. Don't be afraid to clear some space in your schedule, to carve out time for rest, reflection, and simply being. Don't hesitate to say no to commitments that no longer align with who you are or what you need. And most importantly, don't feel guilty for slowing down. You've spent decades proving yourself, working hard, and staying busy. Now is the time to focus on living fully, to be present for the moments that truly matter. Remember, life after 61 isn't about doing more. It's about being more. It's about being more present, more joyful, more at peace. So take a deep breath, embrace the stillness, and allow yourself to experience the richness that comes when you let go of the constant need to stay busy. Because sometimes, the most profound and meaningful moments in life are found in the spaces between the busyness, in the pauses where we truly come alive. 2. Comparing yourself to others. For as long as we can remember, society has urged us to measure ourselves against others. From childhood, we are bombarded with comparisons. Who gets the best grades? Who has the most talent? Who owns the biggest house? Or who seems to defy the years and look younger? We grow up with a yardstick in hand, constantly gauging our worth based on the lives, achievements, and appearances of those around us. It seems there's always someone who has more, does more, or looks better, and this can lead us down a path of self-doubt and dissatisfaction. But after the age of 61, this constant need to compare ourselves to others begins to lose all its meaning. It becomes a source of unnecessary pain. The truth is, every one of us walks a unique path. Each life is a tapestry woven from its own set of experiences, challenges, and triumphs. When we fall into the trap of comparing ourselves to others, we strip our journey of its value. We reduce our accomplishments, our growth, and our resilience to a distorted reflection in someone else's mirror. What we often forget is that comparison is an illusion. It shows us a surface view of other people's lives without revealing the full picture. And at this stage of life, what truly matters is not how we stack up against others, but how we feel about the journey we've been on, the legacy we're building, and the joy we've found along the way. Think about it. If we allow ourselves to constantly look at what others have, whether it's a bigger home, more exotic vacations, or a seemingly more glamorous life, we miss the beauty and richness of our own story. We start to focus on what we lack rather than celebrating all we've gained. After 61 years of living, it's time to shift our perspective. It's time to embrace everything that makes your journey special and meaningful. Every struggle you've overcome, every joy you've experienced, every memory you've created has shaped the person you are today. Comparing yourself to others doesn't just steal your joy. It belittles the life you've lived and the lessons you've learned. Comparison is a thief. It sneaks in quietly, making us feel less than we are and making us question our worth and our choices. But the truth is, no matter how perfect someone else's life might seem, we all have our struggles, our insecurities, and our hardships. No one's life is without challenge, and those seemingly perfect moments we see are often just that, moments. They don't represent the full reality of someone's existence, and yet we compare ourselves to those fleeting glimpses, believing that others have found more happiness or success than we have. But life is far more complex than what meets the eye. By the time we reach 61, it's time to let go of this habit of comparison. It's time to stop looking at what others are doing and start looking inward. Ask yourself, what have I accomplished? What have I overcome? What brings me joy? These are the questions that matter. Your life is your own, and no one else's journey can measure its worth. It's not about who has the latest gadget or who takes the most impressive vacations. It's about how you feel about the choices you've made and the life you've built. Instead of being trapped in the endless cycle of comparing yourself to others, how about focusing on how far you've come? Look at your life through your lens. Through the experiences that have shaped you, the lessons that have made you wiser, and the love you've shared with others. If you're going to compare yourself to the person you were yesterday. Take pride in how much you've grown, in the wisdom you've gained, in the challenges you've faced head-on. Be proud of the resilience that has carried you through tough times and the strength that has allowed you to keep moving forward, even when the road was difficult. Reaching 61 is not just a milestone. It's a time to reflect on the incredible story you've written with your life. Each chapter is filled with moments that matter, some filled with joy, others with lessons learned through hardship. But all of it is yours, and that's what makes it valuable. You've earned the right to step back and appreciate all that you built. You are not defined by what others have achieved or how they live their lives. You are defined by your journey, by the moments you've chosen to embrace, and by the path you've walked with grace and courage. Think of it this way. Comparing your life to someone else's is like comparing apples to oranges. Both are fruits, but they're entirely different, each with its qualities, flavors, and textures. It makes no sense to judge one by the standards of the other. The same is true for people's lives. We are all living different stories, shaped by different circumstances, choices, and dreams. And that's okay. That's what makes life so beautifully complex. So why waste time looking at someone else's journey when your own is just as rich, just as meaningful? It's time to embrace your own story with pride. Take the time to acknowledge the life you've created, the relationships you've nurtured, and the wisdom you've gained. Celebrate the person you are today, not in comparison to anyone else, but because of the unique journey you've been on. You've lived through challenges and triumphs that are all your own, and that's something to be deeply proud of. Ultimately, what matters is not how your life measures up to someone else's, but how content you are with the decisions you've made, the love you've shared, and the moments you've cherished. At this stage of life, it's time to stop worrying about what others have or do, and to start appreciating all that you are. Look inward and find peace in the knowledge that your story is worthy of celebration, worthy of pride, and worthy of love. If you must compare, let it be to reflect on how much you've grown, how much you've learned, and how much you still have to look forward to. Let it be a reminder of the wisdom you've gained along the way and the beauty of the life you've lived. Each day is a new opportunity to live fully, embrace the present, and cherish the unique story that is your life. Let go of the need to compare and step into the fullness of who you are, because your story is one worth celebrating without comparisons. 3. Feeling responsible for everyone else's happiness. For so many years, perhaps decades, we've grown accustomed to being the glue that holds everything and everyone together. We've been the ones who step in to solve the problems, offer a shoulder to cry on, and ensure that everyone around us is okay. Whether it's our children, our spouses, our friends, or even our co-workers, we've taken on the role of caretaker, problem solver, and emotional anchor. And while it may have felt natural, perhaps even necessary, at different stages of life, there comes a point, especially after 61, when this overwhelming sense of responsibility for everyone else's happiness becomes too heavy to carry. It's time to reconsider this role and allow yourself the freedom you've earned. It's perfectly natural to want to see the people we love happy. We want to shield them from pain, ease their burdens, and protect them from life's inevitable challenges. But here's the truth. Happiness is a deeply personal journey, and no matter how much we wish otherwise, we cannot make anyone happy. Each person must find their way, make their own mistakes, and ultimately discover their peace. Continuing to bear the responsibility of everyone else's happiness is not only exhausting, it's also unfair to both yourself and those around you. Carrying this weight for so long can feel like a heavy yoke. We convince ourselves that if we're not there to help or fix things, everything will fall apart. But over time, we learn one of life's most important lessons. We are not in control of everything. No matter how hard we try, we cannot protect the people we love from every hardship, nor can we prevent them from making mistakes, experiencing pain, or facing their struggles. And that's okay. It's a natural part of life, and it's a necessary part of their growth and resilience. It's also crucial to remember that the constant pressure to make everyone happy can come at a great cost to ourselves. How many times have you put your own needs, dreams, and happiness on hold because you were too busy taking care of everyone else? How many moments have you lost because you felt it was selfish to focus on your well-being? The truth is, you deserve happiness just as much as anyone else, and after 61 years of living, it's time to prioritize that. Letting go of the need to take on everyone's burdens isn't about being selfish or indifferent. It's about finding balance. It's about setting healthy boundaries that allow you to care for others without sacrificing your well-being. You can still offer support, advice, and love without being the person who always has to fix everything. Setting those boundaries is one of the greatest acts of love you can give to yourself and those around you. Imagine how liberating it would feel to release yourself from the pressure of being responsible for everyone else's happiness. Picture what your life could look like if you allowed yourself to focus on your happiness, on the things that bring you joy, fulfillment, and peace. You've spent a lifetime caring for others, but now is the time to nurture yourself. You've earned it at this stage of life. It's crucial to realize that self-care is not a luxury, it's a necessity. After all, how can you truly be there for others if you're constantly running on empty? It's impossible to pour from an empty cup. By taking care of yourself, by nourishing your soul, you become a stronger, more compassionate support for those you love. You are better equipped to help others when you are feeling whole, rested, and at peace. Another important truth is that by taking a step back and not trying to fix everything, You give the people around you a gift, the chance to grow. Your children, your spouse, your friends, they all need to learn to stand on their own 2 feet. They need to navigate life's challenges and find their strength, their resilience. When we constantly swoop in to solve their problems, we unintentionally take away their opportunity to grow and develop the tools they need to handle life on their own. It may be hard to step back, but it's one of the greatest acts of love you can offer. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. This doesn't mean you stop caring. Of course not. You'll always be there to offer support, advice, and love when needed. But it means recognizing that you are not the source of everyone's happiness, nor are you responsible for ensuring their peace. Happiness is a personal journey, and each person must walk their path. You can be a companion on that path, but you cannot walk it for them. And that's okay. It's part of life. As you step into this new chapter, don't let guilt hold you back. Don't feel ashamed for putting yourself first or for saying no when something feels like too much. You've spent decades caring for others, and now it's time to care for yourself. You deserve it. Your happiness, your peace of mind, your sense of fulfillment matter just as much as anyone else's, if not more. After all, you've lived through so much, learned so many lessons, and weathered so many storms. Now is the time to allow yourself the freedom to truly enjoy life. So, free yourself from the weight of the world. You don't have to carry everyone else's happiness on your shoulders anymore. Let go of the need to be the fixer, the problem solver, the one who holds it all together. Embrace the beauty of simply being, of loving, supporting, and caring for others without losing yourself in the process. Allow yourself the space to focus on your happiness. Discover the things that bring you joy, peace, and fulfillment, and don't feel guilty for pursuing them. Whether it's taking long walks in nature, spending time with close friends, picking up a new hobby, or simply enjoying a quiet moment of reflection, do it for you, because at the end of the day, you are responsible for your happiness, just as everyone else is responsible for theirs. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. Take care of yourself, nurture your soul, and find joy in the simple, beautiful moments of life. You've earned it, and you deserve it, because your happiness matters just as much as everyone else's, and it's time to embrace that truthfully. Let go of the burden, and embrace the freedom that comes with caring for yourself, loving yourself, and honoring the life you've built. For carrying the expectations of others. Throughout life, it seems we're always trying to live up to someone else's expectations. Whether it's the hopes and dreams our parents had for us, the expectations our children have of us to be endlessly strong and present, or the unspoken desires of our spouse or friends, we often find ourselves playing roles that don't quite fit. For decades, we have taken on responsibilities and identities shaped by what others want or need from us, even if those roles don't align with our own deepest desires. But after reaching 61, it's time to set down this weight and ask ourselves, what are my expectations for my life? It's time to reclaim your story. Carrying the expectations of others is a burden that can become exhausting, even suffocating. We spend years, sometimes decades, worrying about meeting someone else's standards, whether it's about career choices, lifestyle, or even our personality. We fear disappointing those we love, or worse, being judged for following our path. The pressure to please can feel endless, leaving little room to explore who we are, what we truly want, and what makes us happy. But here's a powerful truth. No matter how hard you try, you can never please everyone. Trying to live your life according to the expectations others place on you is an impossible and unfulfilling path. For years, we may find ourselves asking, what will they think? What will they say? Will I let them down? We become so wrapped up in meeting others' standards that we forget to ask the most important question of all. What do I want for myself? As we get older, we begin to realize that this relentless quest to live up to others' expectations not only drains us, but also prevents us from living authentically. And what could be more important than living a life that is true to who you are? After 61 years, it's time to reconsider the expectations we carry. Which of them are truly ours? What have we sacrificed or put aside to keep others happy or avoid their disappointment? Maybe it's a dream you've held on to quietly but never pursued. Maybe it's a decision you've been afraid to make because it would challenge someone else's vision of who you should be. Now is the time to let go of that fear. Now is the time to choose for you. There is a profound liberation that comes from releasing the expectations of others. You may realize that for much of your life, you've been playing a role that was never truly yours to begin with. Maybe your parents had dreams for you that you followed out of love and duty, but never really felt connected to. Maybe your children expected you to be a constant, unshakable force, even when you were feeling weak and uncertain inside. Or maybe your spouse had an idea of who you should be, and you molded yourself to fit that image. But after 61, you have the wisdom and the right to redefine who you are and how you live. This doesn't mean you stop caring about the people around you. Of course, the love we have for our family and friends remains, but it's crucial to understand that living for yourself doesn't equate to selfishness. Instead, it's about balance. It's about recognizing that you don't have to sacrifice your happiness to meet the expectations of others. When you live authentically, when you follow your path, you become a better version of yourself, and that, in turn, benefits everyone around you. When you are at peace with your own choices, you radiate a sense of fulfillment that positively impacts the people you love. It's also important to realize that by always striving to meet others' expectations, we may inadvertently teach them to depend on us in ways that aren't healthy for them either. Your children, your spouse, your friends, they all need to see that it's okay to live life on your terms, and that doing so doesn't mean you love or care about them any less. In fact, by prioritizing your happiness, you show them that they too have the right to live authentically, to pursue their dreams without fear of disappointing others. Ask yourself, what have you always wanted to do but never did because you were afraid of what others might think? What decisions have you been avoiding because they didn't align with someone else's vision of your life? It could be something as simple as taking up a new hobby or as life-changing as leaving behind a career or responsibility that no longer serves you. Whatever it is, now is the time to act. It's never too late to make changes that bring you joy and fulfillment. After all, this is your life, and you deserve to live it according to your terms, free from the weight of others' expectations. One of the greatest gifts you can give yourself after 61 is the freedom to live without apology, without justification. You don't need to explain or defend your decisions to anyone. This is your moment, and the only expectations that matter are the ones you hold for yourself. It's time to let go of the guilt, the fear of disappointing others, and the pressure to be something you're not. Instead, embrace the power of being authentically you. Letting go of others' expectations is a process, but it's a deeply rewarding one. With every expectation you shed, you make room for something new, new dreams, new experiences, new joys. You reclaim the parts of yourself that may have been buried under the weight of what others wanted or needed from you. And in doing so, you create space to live fully and freely without the constant worry of what others might think. This isn't about disregarding the feelings of those you love. It's about realizing that their expectations do not define you and that their happiness is not your responsibility. What matters most is how you feel about the life you're living. Are you at peace with your choices? Do you feel fulfilled by the path you've taken? If not, it's never too late to make changes, to realign with your desires, and to live a life that is deeply and authentically yours. So, ask yourself, what expectations are you still carrying that aren't truly yours? What would your life look like if you let them go? Now is the time to stop living for others and start living for yourself. It's your life, and you have every right to live it fully, without guilt and fear. After 61 years, you've earned the right to put yourself first, follow your dreams, and live up to your expectations. Because at the end of the day, you are the only one who truly knows what's best for you. 5. Saying yes to everything and everyone. Throughout life, how many times have you found yourself saying yes when every fiber of your being wanted to say no? How many moments have you sacrificed? Moments you could have spent doing something you truly enjoy, or simply resting because you felt obligated to please others. Maybe it was to avoid conflict, to maintain peace, or because you felt the weight of expectations on your shoulders. The habit of saying yes can become so ingrained that we hardly notice it, but over time, it can take a toll on us. By the time we reach 61, constantly saying yes to everything and everyone can become an exhausting burden, draining our energy and pulling us away from what truly matters. There comes a point when we must pause and ask ourselves, what's in it for me? This question isn't selfish. It's a necessary reflection on self-care and personal boundaries. After a lifetime of putting others first, of saying yes to every favor, every request, and every invitation, we deserve to start thinking about our well-being. The truth is that constantly saying yes often means saying no to ourselves, to the things that bring us joy, to the time we need for rest, and to the moments of peace we crave. When we say yes to everyone else, we are often neglecting our own needs, and that can lead to feelings of exhaustion, frustration, and even resentment. Saying no is not an act of selfishness. It's an act of self-respect. It's recognizing that you have limits, that your energy is valuable, and that you deserve to use that energy in ways that nourish and sustain you. How often have you found yourself overwhelmed, running from one obligation to the next, not because you wanted to, but because you felt you had to? This constant willingness to please others can slowly weigh you down, leaving little room for the things that truly make your heart sing. After 61 years, it's time to reassess the automatic yes. It's time to start being more selective about what we agree to do. You've spent years helping, supporting, and showing up for others, but now it's time to show up for yourself. It's perfectly okay to say no to things that don't align with your desires, your needs, or your energy. If you don't want to attend a meeting, don't go. If you don't feel like doing a favor, it's okay to decline. If you're not in the mood for a social event, you have every right to say no without guilt. Saying no doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you someone who respects their boundaries and well-being. There's a profound freedom in learning to say no. It's liberating to realize that you don't have to be everything for everyone, that you don't have to be available at all times, and that your worth is not tied to how much you can do for others. Saying no allows you to take control of your time and your energy, giving you the space to focus on the things that truly matter to you. It allows you to invest in yourself, to pursue your passions, to rest when you need to, and to protect your mental and emotional well-being. At this stage in life, it's essential to recognize that your time and energy are precious. You've earned the right to prioritize yourself. Saying no is a way of honoring your own needs, and by doing so, you set an example for others. When you respect your boundaries, you teach others to do the same. You show them that it's okay to put themselves first, to rest when they're tired, and to say no without feeling guilty. So, before automatically saying yes to an invitation or request, Take a moment to ask yourself, do I want to do this? Will this be good for me? If the answer is no, trust that feeling and respect it. You don't owe anyone an explanation or justification for choosing what's best for you. Your time is your own, and it's far too valuable to spend it on things that don't align with your well-being. Life after 61 is a beautiful opportunity to reclaim your choices. It's a time to focus on what brings you joy, peace, and fulfillment. It's about creating space in your life for the things that truly matter, whether it's spending time with loved ones, exploring a new hobby, enjoying quiet moments of reflection, or simply resting. You deserve to live life on your terms, free from the pressure to constantly please others. Learning to say no also helps prevent burnout. When we stretch ourselves too thin, constantly giving to others without refueling our energy, we risk feeling depleted and overwhelmed. This can lead to feelings of resentment, where we start to feel frustrated with the very people we care about, simply because we've given too much of ourselves. But by setting healthy boundaries, by saying no when we need to, we protect our emotional and mental health, ensuring that we have the energy to show up for ourselves and others in meaningful ways. It's important to remember that saying no doesn't mean you're turning your back on the people you love. It doesn't mean you're abandoning them or refusing to help when they truly need it. It simply means you're choosing to be more intentional about how you spend your time and energy. It means recognizing that you can't be everything to everyone. And that's okay. You're allowed to prioritize your well-being. Take time for yourself and to protect your peace. At the end of the day, life is too short to live it just for others. You've spent so much of your life saying yes, being helpful, and making sure everyone else is okay. Now it's time to focus on making sure you're okay. It's time to choose what you want to do, who you want to spend time with, and how you want to live. You have the right to make those choices without guilt, without pressure, and fear of disappointing others. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. So, embrace the power of saying no. Allow yourself the freedom to put your own needs first. You've earned the right to live life on your terms, to prioritize your happiness, and to protect your energy. And in doing so, you'll find that saying no isn't just liberating. It's a way of creating space for the things that truly bring you joy and fulfillment. Life after 61 is a precious chapter, and it's yours to live as you choose. So say yes to yourself, and don't be afraid to say no to everything else. 6. The fear of asking for help. Throughout our lives, many of us have been conditioned to believe that asking for help is a sign of weakness, a failure of self-reliance, or an admission that we're not capable enough. Whether it was taught directly or implied through the expectations of society, there's often an unspoken pressure to prove that we can handle everything on our own. We grow up believing that independence means doing it all ourselves, and that strength comes from never needing assistance. But as we reach 61 and beyond, this mindset starts to feel outdated and harmful. The truth is that no one should have to face life's challenges alone. And recognizing when we need help is not a weakness. It's a profound act of courage and wisdom. For too long, we've been wearing the cape of invincibility, thinking we need to be superheroes in our own lives. But superheroes don't exist, at least not in the way we imagine. Real strength doesn't come from carrying every burden on our own. It comes from knowing when to ask for support. At this stage of life, it's time to let go of the outdated idea that we must always be self-sufficient. Life is full of ups and downs, and there's no shame in seeking help to navigate those moments. Asking for help, whether it's for a practical task or during an emotionally difficult time, doesn't diminish who we are. It affirms our humanity. It shows that we understand our limits and that we have the wisdom to reach out when those limits are reached. Yet, So many of us from this generation grew up with the belief that showing vulnerability or fragility was something to avoid, a sign that we weren't strong enough. We carried this belief with us through the years, perhaps for our entire lives. But now, more than ever, it's time to leave that fear behind. Life at 61 and beyond is about embracing the fullness of our experiences, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. It's about understanding that asking for help is not a sign of defeat, but a sign of maturity. It's the wisdom of someone who has lived long enough to know that life is complex, unpredictable, and sometimes difficult to manage alone. Asking for help isn't giving up. It's acknowledging that we don't have to carry the weight of the world on our shoulders. Sharing the burden, whether it's with a loved one, a friend, or a professional, can make life lighter and more manageable. Unfortunately, many of us have spent years, if not decades, resisting the urge to ask for help. We've internalized the idea that it's our responsibility to handle everything on our own. But at what cost? How many sleepless nights, overwhelming days, or silent struggles could have been eased by simply reaching out and asking for a helping hand? We've been so afraid of seeming weak that we've denied ourselves the comfort and support we deserve. But the truth is, asking for help is one of the bravest things we can do. It takes strength to admit that we can't do it all, and it takes courage to let someone else in. So what if you need help solving a technological problem or organizing your home? What if you're feeling overwhelmed by your emotions and just need someone to listen? None of these things make you less capable, less independent, or less strong. They make you human. Being human means we have limits, we have needs, and sometimes we need the support of others to get through life's challenges. Asking for help is a form of self-awareness. It shows that we know when we've reached our limit, and we're wise enough to seek assistance. Asking for help doesn't take away your independence. On the contrary, it enhances it. It shows that you are in tune with your own needs and that you have the strength to seek out the resources or support necessary to meet those needs. True independence doesn't mean doing everything alone. It means knowing when to stand on your own and when to lean on others. It's about recognizing that we don't have to prove anything to anyone, least of all ourselves. After 61 years of living, we've earned the right to receive help, to share the load, and to acknowledge that we're not invincible. One of the most liberating realizations we can have is that life isn't meant to be lived in isolation. We are social beings, and part of the human experience is relying on others from time to time. Whether it's asking a neighbor for help with a project, leaning on a friend during an emotional struggle, or seeking advice from a professional, there's no shame in needing support. It's through these connections that we often find the strength we didn't know we had. If there's something that worries you, something you're finding difficult to face, don't be afraid to ask for help. Whether it's something as simple as asking for advice or something more substantial, like seeking emotional support, reaching out is an act of bravery. It's about recognizing that we don't have to have all the answers or carry all the weight ourselves. We've spent so much of our lives taking care of others and being there for family, friends, and co-workers. Now, it's time to allow others to be there for us. So let go of the fear. Let go of the outdated belief that asking for help is a sign of weakness. Instead, embrace the idea that seeking support is a sign of wisdom, courage, and strength. Life is better when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable and when we open ourselves to the possibility of receiving help. There's a certain beauty in admitting that we don't have to face everything alone, that there are people around us who are willing and ready to lend a hand, to listen, and to support us in whatever way we need. Remember, no one is meant to carry the weight of the world alone. By asking for help, you not only make your life a little easier, but also allow others to show their love and support for you. Life is lighter, richer, and more meaningful when we allow ourselves to lean on others. So go ahead, ask for help when you need it. You deserve the support, and you'll find that life is a lot easier when you have someone to count on. 7. Attachment to rigid routines. For much of our lives, routines have been the bedrock of our daily existence. They provide structure, a sense of security, and a feeling of control, especially when juggling work, family, and responsibilities. Routines help us navigate the complexities of life and bring order to the chaos. But as we reach 61 and beyond, the very routines that once served us so well may start to feel confining. An attachment to rigid routines can end up limiting our ability to explore new opportunities, try different things, and experience life in all its richness. It's time to reconsider how much we rely on the comfort of sameness and open ourselves to the unexpected joys that come with a little flexibility. It's true, routine offers comfort. There's a certain ease that comes from knowing exactly what to expect each day. Waking up at the same time, engaging in familiar activities, eating the same meals, and interacting with the same people. It's all part of the safety net we build around ourselves. And there's nothing inherently wrong with routine. It provides stability. But if we become too attached to doing things the same way day in and day out, we risk missing out on the wonderful, unpredictable surprises life still has to offer. As we get older, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that change is no longer necessary, that we've seen and done it all, or that trying something new might disrupt the comfortable rhythm we've established. But here's the truth. Life doesn't stop surprising us just because we've reached a certain age. There's an entire world of new experiences waiting for us, if we allow ourselves to be open to them. Rigid routines can feel like a safety blanket, but they can also turn into a cage, one that prevents us from fully living and exploring. When we hold too tightly to our habits, we may unknowingly shut ourselves off from opportunities for growth, connection, and joy. Maybe you're used to your daily morning walk around the same neighborhood, but what if you tried a different path? Perhaps you always eat the same foods, but what if you tried something new and discovered a new favorite dish? Sticking to the same routine can be comforting, but breaking free from it, even in small ways, can open the door to new passions, experiences, and friendships. Letting go of rigid routines doesn't mean abandoning everything you love or drastically altering your life. It simply means being more flexible, allowing space for spontaneity, and being open to new possibilities. Think about the times in your life when something unexpected brought you immense joy. Those moments likely happened when you stepped outside of your usual routine, whether it was meeting someone new, trying a new activity, or traveling somewhere different. Life is full of these moments, but to embrace them, we have to be willing to loosen our grip on the familiar. At 61, there's still so much to experience, and often, the best experiences come when we're willing to step out of the automatic pilot of routine. It's easy to fall into the habit of thinking, this is the way I've always done things, so why change now? But that mindset can prevent us from discovering something wonderful. Imagine the possibilities that could unfold if you allowed yourself to break the mold, even just a little. What if you took a new class, traveled to a place you've never been, or started a hobby you've always been curious about but never had the time to pursue? Small changes can lead to big discoveries. Life doesn't have to be predictable. Even after 61, it can still be an adventure, one that's filled with excitement, learning, and connection. By letting go of rigid routines, we create room for growth, for meeting new people, for finding new joys, and for experiencing life in ways we may never have imagined. Routine can bring comfort, but it can also rob us of the thrill that comes with the unexpected. Of course, This doesn't mean you have to throw out every routine you've ever established. Routines can still provide stability, and there's no need to change the things that truly bring you joy. But it's about finding a balance between the familiar and the new. It's about being willing to break the pattern when the opportunity arises, to say yes to something different, and to challenge the notion that every day has to look the same. Start small. Maybe it's as simple as changing your morning walk route, visiting a new coffee shop, or trying out a new recipe. Maybe it's deciding to finally sign up for that art class or book club you've been considering for years. Or maybe it's about being more open to spontaneous moments, saying yes to an unexpected invitation, striking up a conversation with someone new, or taking a day trip to a place you've never been. The point is to allow room for flexibility, to embrace the unknown, and to invite new experiences into your life. Even the smallest change can break the monotony of a rigid routine and open the door to something extraordinary. Life is rich with possibilities, and it doesn't stop being exciting just because we've reached a certain age. There's a certain freedom that comes with being 61 and older, a freedom to explore, to experiment, and to live fully without the constraints of rigid schedules or the pressure to conform. So why not let go of the idea that everything has to stay the same? Why not permit yourself to be a little more adventurous, a little more open to change? The routine may bring comfort, but it's the willingness to embrace the unexpected that brings vibrancy and excitement to life. After all, what matters most is not how many years we have ahead, but how we choose to live every day we're given. By stepping out of your comfort zone, even just a little, you may discover passions and joys you never knew existed. You may find yourself feeling more alive, more connected, and more open to the world around you. Life doesn't stop being an adventure after 61. In fact, it's only just beginning. So loosen your hold on routine, take a deep breath, and embrace the beauty of the unknown. Life is waiting for you, and every day is an opportunity for something new. 8. Trying to be perfect at everything. For most of our lives, many of us have felt the constant pressure to be perfect in everything we do, whether it's at work, raising our children, maintaining relationships, or even how we present ourselves. There's always that inner voice pushing us to do everything flawlessly. It's the voice that tells us we need to avoid mistakes, be an example for others, and live up to impossibly high standards. But as we reach 61 and beyond, it's time to let go of this relentless pursuit of perfection. Life isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about learning, growing, and embracing the beauty of imperfection. The idea of perfection often prevents us from truly enjoying life. How many times have we hesitated to try something new because we were afraid of not being good enough? How many times have we become frustrated or upset because things didn't go exactly as planned? This constant drive to be perfect can rob us of the joy in life's little moments. Instead of appreciating the process, we focus on the outcome, and when it doesn't measure up to our impossible standards, we feel defeated. But the truth is, no one expects us to be perfect, except ourselves. Perfection is a burden we impose on ourselves. We set ourselves up to believe that anything less than flawless isn't good enough. But this mindset can leave us feeling exhausted and unsatisfied. The reality is that those around us, our loved ones, our friends, our community, aren't looking for perfection. What they value most is our presence, our authenticity, and our affection. None of those things require us to be perfect. What people cherish most are the moments when we show up as our true, imperfect selves. There comes a point when we realize that life is too short to waste energy striving for a standard that doesn't exist. Perfection is an illusion, and the more we chase it, the more we miss out on the richness of life's experiences. It's not necessary for your home to always be spotless, for your hair to always be perfectly styled, or for you to have all the answers. What truly matters is being at peace with yourself, embracing both your flaws and your strengths. When we stop trying to be perfect, we start appreciating who we are as we are. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment below to let me know that you are still here with me. Think of all the times you felt pressure to live up to a certain standard, only to realize that no one else was holding you to that standard but yourself. How many times have you felt guilty for not being the perfect parent, partner, friend, or colleague? The truth is, those moments where we fall short of perfection are often the moments where we learn the most, grow the most, and connect the most deeply with others. Perfection as an ideal can disconnect us from the people and experiences that matter most. Imagine the freedom that comes with letting go of the need to be perfect. Imagine trying something new without the pressure to excel at it from the start. Imagine making mistakes and laughing at yourself, rather than feeling ashamed. When we allow ourselves to be imperfect, we permit ourselves to truly live. We open ourselves up to the richness of life's unpredictability and the joy of simply being present, without the constant worry of measuring up to some impossible standard. Life after 61 is a perfect time to embrace this mindset. It's a time to let go of the need to control every outcome, and instead, focus on enjoying the process, whether it's learning something new, spending time with loved ones, or simply savoring a quiet moment alone. When we release the need for perfection, we allow ourselves to experience life in a more genuine, fulfilling way. We learn to appreciate the beauty of imperfections, both in ourselves and in the world around us. Perfection can also hold us back from personal growth. How many dreams or passions have we postponed because we were afraid we wouldn't be perfect at them? Whether it's learning to paint, picking up a new hobby, or pursuing a long-held ambition, the fear of not being good enough can prevent us from even trying. But after 61, it's time to take those chances, to make mistakes, and to allow ourselves to learn and grow. The joy is in the journey, not the destination. And when we stop focusing on being perfect, we open ourselves up to a world of new possibilities. Perfection also takes us away from who we truly are. It forces us to wear masks, to hide our vulnerabilities, and to present ourselves as something we think others want to see. But our imperfections are what make us unique and relatable. It's through our mistakes, our quirks, and our authenticity that we connect with others on a deeper level. When we allow ourselves to be real, flaws and all, we give others permission to do the same. After 61, it's time to stop striving for perfection and start embracing who we truly are. It's time to let go of the need to have everything figured out, to look perfect, or to always get things right. Instead, focus on what brings you happiness, fulfillment, and peace. Life isn't about ticking off boxes on some checklist of perfection. It's about being present, being kind to yourself, and enjoying each moment for what it is. So, how about letting go of the idea that everything has to be perfect? Make mistakes, laugh at yourself, and try new things without the pressure of being the best. Let yourself live freely, without the burden of perfection hanging over your head. What truly matters, after all, is not how flawlessly you live your life, but how fully you live it. Life is filled with imperfections, and it's in those imperfections that we often find the most beauty, growth, and joy. At the end of the day, happiness isn't found in perfection. It's found in being real, in accepting yourself as you are, and in embracing the messiness of life. After 61, it's time to let go of perfection and start living with more ease, more joy, and more freedom. Because what counts is not being perfect. It's being authentic, being happy, and being at peace with yourself. 9. Ignoring your mental health. For much of our lives, mental health has been a topic that was often overlooked, rarely discussed, and at times, even stigmatized. We've been taught to prioritize our physical well-being, to exercise, get routine checkups, and monitor our health as we age. But what about the health of our minds? How many times have we ignored our feelings of sadness, anxiety, loneliness, or persistent emotional exhaustion that never seems to fade? We've all experienced these moments, and as we reach 61 and beyond, it becomes more crucial than ever to pay attention to these signs and understand that mental health is just as important as physical health. Ignoring our mental well-being can lead to a slow and difficult path, one where emotions build up over time, creating a weight that feels overwhelming yet hard to pinpoint. For many of us, we've learned to suppress our emotions, swallow our tears, and project strength, believing that to show vulnerability would be to show weakness. But this couldn't be further from the truth. We all have moments of fragility, and that is simply part of being human. Admitting that we're struggling or need support doesn't make us less capable or strong. It makes us courageous. It takes strength to recognize that our mental health needs care and attention, just like our bodies do. After 61, life brings about many changes. Children grow up and leave to live their own lives. We experience shifts in our bodies and abilities, and sadly, we may lose loved ones along the way. These changes can profoundly affect our emotional well-being, and it's completely normal to feel the weight of these transitions. What's important is acknowledging that it's okay to feel overwhelmed and that seeking help is a sign of wisdom, not weakness. Whether it's through talking to a friend, seeking professional therapy, joining a support group, or even exploring new ways to relax and find peace, taking care of your mental health is vital. We've spent so much of our lives caring for others, our families, our work, and our responsibilities. Now is the time to care for ourselves, to recognize that we don't have to carry the world on our shoulders. Mental health care isn't a luxury, it's a necessity, and it's never too late to start paying attention to your emotional well-being. If you feel that something isn't right, that sadness or anxiety has lingered too long, or that your worries feel heavier than you can manage, don't hesitate to seek support. Taking care of your mental health is an act of self-love. It's about permitting yourself to heal, to rest, and to find peace within. There's no shame in asking for help. Whether that means speaking with a therapist, trying meditation, joining a group of people who share similar experiences, or simply reaching out to a trusted friend for a heartfelt conversation. These steps can make all the difference in how we navigate the later stages of life. After 61, many of us have faced significant emotional challenges, grief, loss, loneliness, or simply feeling disconnected from the life we once knew. These feelings are valid, and there's no need to face them alone. Opening up about your mental health allows for healing and connection, and it breaks the cycle of silence that can so easily trap us in isolation. There's immense power in admitting that we need help, in letting go of the idea that we must be invincible. Asking for support is a gift we give ourselves. Exploring new ways to nurture your mental health can be incredibly empowering. Activities like meditation, yoga, creative hobbies, or joining a new community can help create a sense of purpose and calm. Therapy and counseling offer a space for reflection and healing, allowing you to process feelings that may have been buried for years. Whatever path you choose, the important thing is recognizing that your mental health is worth the investment. For too long, mental health was brushed aside, but the world has changed, and it's time to leave behind any lingering shame or fear around caring for our emotional well-being. Life doesn't stop surprising us after 61, and we deserve to face it with clarity, joy, and peace of mind. When we take care of our mental health, we allow ourselves to truly experience life, to appreciate the small moments, to connect with those we love, and to feel a sense of inner peace. It's time to prioritize your mental well-being just as much as your physical health. If something feels off, if you're struggling with discouragement, anxiety, or emotional fatigue, seek help. You don't have to go through it alone, and you don't have to be strong all the time. A healthy mind allows us to fully enjoy life, embrace its ups and downs with grace, and be open to all that life still has to offer. After all, mental health is not just about avoiding pain. It's about creating space for joy, peace, and the freedom to live fully. Taking care of your mental health is the best gift you can give yourself at any age. It's about nurturing your emotional resilience, letting go of the pressure to handle everything on your own, and recognizing that you deserve to live well, in mind, body, and spirit. At 61 and beyond, mental health care is essential for living a life filled with lightness, balance, and joy. So take that step, seek support, and remember, you deserve peace of mind and you deserve to thrive. 10. Living for the what-ifs. How often do we find ourselves lost in thoughts of, what if I had done things differently? Or, what if life had unfolded another way? These reflections may start innocently enough, but before we know it, they can become a trap that keeps us anchored in the past or paralyzed in the present. The what-ifs are like a weight we carry, filling us with regret, anxiety, or fear of making new decisions. But by the time we reach 61, we've lived long enough to know that life doesn't always go as planned, and no matter how much we dwell on the past, we can't change it. What truly matters now is how we choose to live in the present. Living for the what-ifs is like trying to read a book by focusing only on the chapters you've already finished, while ignoring the exciting story unfolding on the pages right in front of you. Of course, everyone has moments of reflection, times when we wish we had made different choices. Maybe you wonder about the career path you didn't pursue, the places you didn't travel to, or the words you left unsaid to those you loved. But the truth is, we can't rewrite the past. It's done. And carrying the burden of those what-ifs only serves to hold us back from fully appreciating the life we have now. At this stage of life, it's time to leave the what-ifs behind and embrace the present. We've seen enough to know that life is full of unexpected twists and turns, things we couldn't predict and outcomes we couldn't control. Instead of wasting energy on regrets, we can focus on what we have today and how we can make the most of the moments ahead of us. The present is a gift, filled with opportunities to live lightly, make new decisions, and create memories that truly matter. The what-ifs can easily become a source of anxiety, regret, or even fear. How many times have you found yourself avoiding a new opportunity because you were too focused on how things went wrong in the past? How many times have you hesitated to try something new because of the fear that history might repeat itself? But living in fear of what might happen, or obsessing over what could have been, only robs you of the joy that exists in the present moment. It's natural to reflect on the past, but we can't let it dictate our future. We can't allow missed opportunities to overshadow the possibilities that still lie ahead. Maybe you didn't travel as much as you wanted, didn't pursue that dream career, or didn't express your feelings when it mattered most. But those missed moments don't define the life you're living now. What matters is what you choose to do with the time and opportunities you still have. Instead of asking what if, try asking yourself, what now? How can you make the most of the life you have today? How can you embrace the present and live more fully, more joyfully, without the burden of past regrets? Every day is a new chance to make meaningful choices, try new things, and build a future that brings you happiness and peace. It's never too late to create new memories, pursue new passions, or make different decisions that align with who you are now. Imagine what your life could look like if you stopped dwelling on the past and started focusing on the present. What if, instead of lamenting the roads not taken, you allowed yourself to enjoy the journey you're on right now? What if, instead of regretting what didn't happen, you seize the opportunities available to you today? The beauty of life is that it's constantly changing, and no matter where you are, you always have the power to shape your experience moving forward. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 5 below to let me know that you are still here with me. By letting go of the what-ifs, you free yourself from the weight of regret and open your heart to the possibilities of the present. You allow yourself to live more fully, with lightness and joy, without the shadow of the past looming over your choices. The past may have shaped you, but it doesn't define your future. What defines your future is what you choose to do with the moments you have now. After 61, life is about embracing the present with gratitude and openness. It's about realizing that while you can't change what's behind you, you can shape what's ahead. Maybe it's time to pursue that hobby you've always been curious about, to rekindle an old friendship, or to travel to a place you've always dreamed of visiting. Maybe it's time to say yes to things you once feared, to make choices that bring you happiness, or to simply savor the small joys in everyday life. Living in the present allows you to experience life more fully, without the constant second-guessing or regret that the what-ifs bring. It's about finding peace in where you are, accepting the past for what it is, and choosing to move forward with intention and joy. After 61, we understand that life's beauty lies not in its perfection, but in the moments we choose to live fully, without being held back by fear or regret. So, how about setting aside the what-ifs and choosing to live for the now? What matters most isn't what could have been, but what you choose to do with the time and opportunities you have today. There's still so much to explore, so much to experience, and so much to enjoy. Life is an ongoing story, and you have the power to write the next chapter. So let go of the past, embrace the present, and look forward to the possibilities that lie ahead. In the end, happiness isn't about living perfectly. It's about living authentically, fully, and with the courage to let go of the what-ifs and embrace the beauty of what is. As we've explored these 10 powerful insights, it's clear that life after 61 offers an opportunity to let go of old habits, embrace new perspectives, and prioritize what truly matters: our happiness, mental health, and the freedom to live authentically. Now that we've reflected on the importance of letting go of perfection, saying no when necessary, focusing on the present, and so much more, we'd love to hear from you. What have you learned from this journey of self-reflection? What's one thing you're going to bring into practice in your own life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear how you plan to live more fully and with more joy. If you liked this video, please leave your comment below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more inspiring content.